welcome back to my channel. So this month we're going to be doing a morning Hypopressives mini series. Each of these flows are going to have 6 different poses, fairly straightforward. We're going to do 22 vacuums per practice session, which is going to be like the perfect amount for a morning practice. If you're a complete beginner, then have a little look in the description below because there are some ways we can help you there. If you haven't learnt the Hypopressives vacuum breath, you need to do that before you try these videos. Check for contraindications. And if you've got a ball, if you just want to grab one, because there's a bit of ball work in some of the poses here. So today we're going to start off in kneeling position. So if you just want to come down onto your mat, we're going to have the knees directly below the pelvis, hip distance apart, with the toes tucked under at the back. Pelvis is in neutral, and then you want to have your ribs stacked directly over the pelvis with the eyes ahead. We're going to bring your hands into first position here, and we're just going to slowly rock forwards just a tiny bit, just leading with the front of your thighs there. So you should feel a little bit of engagement through the back of the legs there. And we're going to start here nice and simple. So nice steady in breath. Exhale and lengthen. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. So think about lengthening through the waist. Lengthening gently through the back of the neck there. Keep that tiny forward tilt there. Make sure you haven't come forwards like that. It is just leading with the front of the thighs there. And then we're going to inhale here. Exhale, arms are floating up into second position. Shoulders down, nice and tall. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. So keep that lovely length through your torso. Eyes are ahead. Check your chin is back. Should feel a little bit of a light engagement through the back of the legs there. And then we're going to inhale. Exhale, arms are coming out to the top. Shoulders down. Eyes ahead. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Nice slow exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. So keep the ribs over the pelvis. Nice and tall. Lengthen through the waist. You can lengthen through the vacuum there. Eyes ahead, shoulders heavy and down. Hands lightly pressing away there, and then we're going to inhale. Exhale, bring your arms down. You're going to grab a ball if you've got one, and we're going to bring the left foot forwards here. So you've got your knee underneath your pelvis, toes tucked under at the back, front knee above the ankle there. Pelvis is facing forwards, shoulders forwards. We're going to have the ball at chest height here. So inhale, softening on the ball. Exhale, squeeze. Chin is back. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. And then one more here. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. And again, lengthening through the waist. Eyes ahead, shoulders are down. Keep squeezing on the ball there, almost to help you get a little bit more through the rib stretch there. Lovely. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale. Exhale, switch over the knees there. So we're going to have the left knee below the pelvis, right foot ahead there, pelvis facing forwards. Super. So inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. And then one more. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeezing on the ball. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. So really nice and long through the torso there. Squeezing on the ball to create a little bit more of a dynamic through the vacuum. Almost feels like you're kind of layering up on the vacuum with the ball work. And then we're going to stay here for one more and then we'll return to the other side. So inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. And then we're going to do one more breath here. Nice slow exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Again, really nice and tall, eyes ahead, shoulders down. Feel that spread between the shoulder blades at the back. Lovely. Super. So inhale here when you're ready. I'm going to switch over. So left foot forward, knee below your pelvis there, toes tucked under at the back. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. We're going to do 2 more breaths. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. And then one more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Keep lengthening through the waist. Lengthen through the top of the head there. Keep squeezing on the ball. And then inhale when you're ready. Pop the ball to the side. We're going to come into quadruped position here. So fingertips towards each other, underneath your shoulders, roughly a hand's length apart. You've got your knees below your pelvis there, toes are tucked under, knees and feet hip distance apart. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here, 360 breath all the way through the rib cage. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. So make sure you haven't dropped your head down. So you want to create some lovely length from your pelvis to the top of the head. So everything nice in alignment through your pelvis, back and head. Super. Hold that for as long as is comfortable. And we're going to inhale here. Exhale, elbows coming to where your hands were. Hands and forearms pressing into the floor. Pelvis stays over the knees. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. Keep pressing your hands and forearms into the floor. Keep lengthening through your spine. When you're ready to take a breath, we're going to inhale. Exhale, fingertips together, elbows coming out. Keep the pelvis over your knees there, head lightly resting down. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to do one more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. So make sure you're not putting any pressure through your head here. So hairline is just lightly resting on your hands or just below your hands there. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale and exhale. Come up, and we're just going to do a little bit of rocking here with a knee lift. So check everything is in a nice neutral position there. Fingertips facing forward. So we're going to inhale, rock back just a couple of inches. Exhale, coming forwards. Inhale, rocking back. And exhale. And then we're going to do one more here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. So we're going to load through the arms, and then we're just going to hover the knees just a tiny bit there. Careful to keep the alignment through your back. Quite a difficult position, this one. Will feel very core rather than vacuumy. And then inhale and exhale, come down. So we're going to do the same again. So just that little rock back here. So inhale, rocking back just a little, just to lengthen through the glutes. Exhale, coming forwards. Inhale, rocking back. And exhale. Coming forwards, back into quadruped. One more. Inhale, rocking back. Just a little. Exhale, coming forwards. And then you're going to hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. So we're going to load through. And then we're just going to lift the knees just a little bit off the floor. You can come up a little bit higher to make it just a little bit easier there for yourselves. Bit of body weight training here. Hold that for as long as is comfortable, and then inhale and exhale, come down. And we're going to do one more repetition. Inhale, rocking back. Exhale, coming forwards. And then just one more breath here. So inhale, rock back. Exhale, coming forwards. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. So rocking forwards, lifting the knees. Lovely. Hold that for as long as is comfortable. And then inhale. Exhale, bring your knees down. So we're going to do some sitting now. You can choose your sitting position. I'm going to do cross-legged, but if you don't want to do cross-legged, you can do legs extended or diamond. Obviously, same again with the sitting position. You don't want to be rolling into your pelvis, so make sure that you just grab some blocks if you need to get yourself a little bit higher. If you're doing cross-leg position, you want that light dorsiflexion of the ankles there, and you also want to bring the knees a little bit higher so that you've got a little bit of light tension through the legs there. It's very light, but yeah, it does make a little bit of a difference there. Ball at chest height. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. And then one more here. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. So you should feel a bit of tugging in the throat. This movement with the ball, hand movement, sort of to create a little bit of light tension there, kind of layers up on top of the vacuum, can make it feel just a little bit more intense there. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. One more breath here. Inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Keep lengthening through the top of the head there. Keep nudging those knees up just a little bit. And then inhale, soften. Exhale, squeeze. And then just one more breath here. Exhale, squeeze. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs and keep lengthening through the top of the head, shoulders down. And then inhale when you're ready. So just pop the ball to the side. I'm going to stay in sitting, but you can just change your position if you prefer. Again, dorsiflex the ankles a little bit, knees are coming up, hands are lightly pressing into the knees there, shoulders down, feel your shoulders are open so you've got a nice space to breathe at the front of the chest. Inhale and exhale. One more breath here. Exhale and lengthen. Hold your breath. Ready to come into your rib stretch. You're thinking about lengthening through the waist, lengthening through the top of the head, feeling spread between the shoulders, knees nudging up. Hold that for as long as is comfortable. And then we're going to inhale here. Exhale, floating your hands up into second position, shoulders down, eyes ahead. Inhale and exhale. And then one more breath here. Exhale hold your breath, stretch your ribs. Again, keep nice and lengthened. Lovely, hold that for as long as is comfortable. And then we're going to inhale here. Exhale, arms are coming up, shoulders are down, eyes ahead, lengthening through the back of the neck. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. Super. And then inhale when you're ready. And then our final pose today is the long one on the floor. So we're going to have our legs fully extended with a little bend of the knees there, drawing the heels towards us there. Knees and feet are hip distance apart. We're going to have our hands in first position here, shoulders heavy towards the floor. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. Lovely. Eyes looking towards the ceiling there. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale here. Arms just floating up in second position, shoulders heavy, nice big arms though. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. Think about lengthening through the waist. Keep those heels tugging back towards you a little bit there with that light dorsiflexion of the ankles. Lovely. When you're ready to take a breath, we're going to inhale here. Exhale, arms floating back into third position. Careful not to arch your back here, shoulders heavy on the floor. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. Should feel really nice, this pose. Lovely and lengthened, and lovely and engaged. And then inhale when you're ready. If you just want to bring your knees in, just sort of move your feet around just to kind of release any tension there. And then we're going to roll over, come up nice and slowly. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed your practice. Let me know how you're getting on in the comments below, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.